One of the great things about GarageBand here on the iPhone or the iPad is it lets you record and create music wherever you are. Well, in this video, I'm taking it up to the next level because I'm going to be importing some tracks that were recorded by someone on the other side of the world, and I'm going to bring those into my GarageBand iOS project. So let's go. Hi, my name is Pete. This is Studio Live today, where I help you create, record and release your best music. And I'm in the middle of creating some music of my own, but I'm doing it with the help of someone who is on the other side of the world, in the UK as a matter of fact. And that is musician Dan Baker, who recently recorded some violin tracks for one of my songs. Now, Dan has recorded those in GarageBand iOS, and he has sent me the project. And now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you how we can collaborate. I can open up the project that he shared with me and then bring it in to my session here and see what he's done with these violins. Let's take a look now. So here we are in GarageBand iOS here on my iPhone, my favorite place to be. And you might recall this song if you've been hanging around the channel for a while. I did this over a month ago now, and this is a song called Things Change, or Things Will Change. Haven't quite titled it properly yet, and it sounds a little bit like this.
The only thing that stays the same is that things will change.
So it's just a very gentle vocal, a couple of acoustic guitars and a piano here. It was a very basic arrangement. So I shared this on a forum on the GarageBand users Facebook group, and Dan Baker, who's one of our other GarageBand gurus over there, jumped on and said, "Hey, I would really like to try and record some violins if you're keen." And I said, "Of course I am keen, Dan. You are an awesome musician. Record away, my friend." So he took this track, I shared it with him, and I've done a video about how to collaborate using GarageBand iOS before. I'll link that up the top and down in the description below if you want to check that out. But it's a very simple process. You just go into the file, you share, you put in the email address of the person you're sharing with, and as long as it's here in iCloud, so as long as we have it here in our songs, in our iCloud drive, then we can actually share that with another user. So I shared this particular file, and that was shared with Dan. And then what Dan did is he went away, he added some strings, and we had a few issues because there was a couple of weeks that elapsed there. But eventually I said, yeah, I can't download it, so can you reshare it? So he's reshared, and you can see at the top here we've got Things Change version 1 strings by Dan Baker. Now you might have noticed that my version is version 5 and his is version 1. That's because I sent him a quite early demo, and then I continued to work on my track. So he's actually got the demo version of my guitars and my vocals. So you can see it looks a little bit different here. The piano, the vocal and the guitar I've redone since then. But what Dan has recorded here is not one, not two, not even three, but 4 violin tracks here. So he's recorded some accompaniments, some harmony parts here, a 3-part harmony on 3 violins, and he's also recorded another violin that's gone all the way through, which he suggested that I could actually use in different parts if I wanted to, and I could select how I want to mix those in. So that is really, really cool. And the video, by the way, is linked up the top right now, so you can actually go and check out Dan recording. He's got his own YouTube channel, and he recorded himself recording these violin parts. So I suggest you go and check that out either now or at the end of this video, because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to listen to these. I have heard his video, but it's the first time that I've listened to these right here in my own track. So I'm going to take a listen to these violin parts, and then I'm not going to do the mixing here today, but if you want to see that process, I'm going to go back into the studio once I've done the process here, and I'm going to be mixing these violins in with my guitar, piano and vocals, and making my final mix here. So check that out in a future video, but for now let's take a listen to Dan's violin parts. Okay, now how good does that sound? Now keep in mind a few things here. This is a mono recording because I'm just using my screen recorder. These are all at a standard level here in the volume, and these have no processing or effects or panning on them whatsoever. So for them to already sound so good with a dry audio recorder signal, I think is amazing. Now you might have noticed that I muted this track. Now what Dan has actually done here, because he is a professional, he's added in a track that's a solo violin that goes all the way through, and he's playing little parts here that I may want to use when I come to the mixing phase. So let's just come to one of these and hit play now. So that one does have a little bit of processing on it. You can hear a little bit of delay there on that audio recorder track. So that's something that I can use in there maybe if I want to enhance some sections where we don't have these other three here, because together they all sound like this. Just magnificent, loving that. So that is very cool. Now what I do need to do though is, and this is where a little bit of GarageBand hacking comes in, is I need to copy and paste this over to my new track, because I mentioned before that this one is an old version. So this is my very early, and by the way, thank you Dan, because this demo I sent you is quite terrible. I've realized that there's a heap of mistakes and I didn't realize I sent you quite such an early alpha version, but the version I have now is sounding much better. So what we need to do is we need to work out firstly where this first track comes in. So Dan has cut it right on track 5, which is great. So that means it's going to be easy to copy and paste. And what we need to do, so I've zoomed all the way out here by pinching out. I'm going to tap outside and drag over all 4 of Dan's violin tracks. We're going to tap anywhere, tap again, and tap copy. And now what we need to do is we need to come all the way out of here, go back to my songs, and then it's actually in here. We've got things change version 5. So there you go, we've gone from version 1 to version 5. And what we need to do here is get our playhead in the right spot. Now when you're copying and pasting between projects, you need your playhead in the right spot. So we're going to put it here on bar 5, right on bar 5, on the line there, and then we're going to tap down here below and go paste, and it's going to bring across not only the tracks there but all of the settings that we have there as well. So that has got all of our tracks. Let's just come in here and play back a bit now to make sure that this is lining up okay.
Deserts too. It's a dream of weekend breaks. And a fact that
Beautiful. So we have my stereo guitars there, my vocals, and my cleaned up piano, and now we have our 3 violin tracks and our 4th solo violin track that we may want to bring into our mix. So that is where we are going from here. I will plug back in the studio, not in this video but in an upcoming video. I'm going to take this track now, throw it over to my iPad, and I'm going to mix this down in stereo, and I'm going to take you through that whole process of mixing this song. We're then going to master it, and then we're then going to release this song. So hang around here, wait for those videos. They will be coming very soon. A massive thank you to Dan Baker. Please check out his channel. He's got some amazing videos over there, all about GarageBand, but also all about a heap of other music production stuff. So check out his music videos over on his channel. And thank you again. If you've got any comments, questions, or suggestions about this process or about anything else, you can leave those down below, and I'll see you on the next video. Hey, thanks for sticking around. How cool is Mr. Dan Baker? Now, I normally put 2 of my videos in the links down below, but I'm putting 2 of Dan's videos in the links below so that you can check out some of his great content and subscribe to his channel as well. You can subscribe to this channel by clicking on the Studio Live Today icon in the top right corner, and head on over to studiolivetoday.com for more audio goodness.